Today is October 24th, 2025. The air feels heavy, not just with autumn chill, but with a pervasive sense of anxiety. Many people feel a deep personal guilt about the state of our planet. They hear the constant drumbeat of warnings about a warming world, and are told that the solution lies in their individual choices. They dutifully sort their recycling, scrutinize their food miles, and agonize over every car trip. These actions are born from a good and noble place, a genuine desire to be part of the solution. But this narrative places the enormous burden of climate collapse on individuals. It is designed to make us feel small and overwhelmed. The truth: our climate crisis is not just billions making bad personal choices. It is the result of systems, an economic structure, a political structure, engineered to run on fossil fuels, large industrial operations, global shipping networks, centralized power grids. These systems were built long before we were born, and they continue to operate on a scale that dwarfs our personal carbon footprints, blaming an individual for using a plastic straw while a single corporation burns millions of tons of coal. The feeling of personal climate guilt is not an accident. It was manufactured. For decades, the fossil fuel industry invested in sophisticated PR campaigns to shift attention away from their operations and onto individual lifestyles. This tactic is straight from the playbook of other harmful industries. The tobacco industry pushed messages about cigarette butt litter instead of the cancer caused by smoking. Fossil fuel companies promoted the idea of a personal carbon footprint. BP popularized that concept in a massive 2005 ad campaign. Use marketing suggested shot, "Your choices power the future" style vintage ad. The ad's message: climate change is your fault, fix it yourself. This strategy has two main purposes. First, deflect public anger and scrutiny. If debates focus on meat consumption, air travel, or recycling habits, there is less pressure on companies that are extracting, processing, and selling fossil fuels. Meanwhile, they can post record profits. While individual actions performed in isolation have limited impact, those same actions, when networked together as part of a collective strategy, can become transformative. The real power of an individual choice is not the single ton of carbon it saves, but its potential to inspire others and shift social norms. Think of it as the difference between a single spark and a fire. A spark on its own quickly dies out. When it lands in a field of dry grass, surrounded by other sparks, it can ignite a blaze that reshapes the landscape. Our individual actions are the sparks. Collective organizing is the dry grass. History is full of examples. The Montgomery bus boycott didn't start with millions. It began with Rosa Parks refusing to give up her seat. That refusal sparked a coordinated, year-long campaign by the city's black community. Their choices to walk, carpool, or find other transport together put economic pressure on the city, captured national attention, and led to a landmark Supreme Court ruling. This is the model for climate action. Individual acts channeled into a shared, strategic objective. In the climate context, this can take many forms. A boycott of a bank that funds fossil fuel projects sends a powerful financial signal. One person closing an account won't move the bank. Thousands or millions doing it as part of an organized campaign creates a financial crisis and forces the institution to reconsider its investments. The relationship between individual action and systemic change is not a one-way street. It is a dynamic feedback loop. The system we live in, laws, infrastructure, economic incentives, heavily shapes the choices available to us as individuals. If you live in a city with no safe bike lanes and poor public transit, choosing not to drive is incredibly difficult. Conversely, the choices we make, especially when they become visible and widespread, can begin to reshape the system itself. This virtuous cycle is one of our most powerful tools for transformation. When we act together, our personal choices create pressure that can lead to better systems, which in turn makes sustainable choices easier for everyone. Consider the rise of plant-based foods. It began with a relatively small number of individuals choosing to eat less meat for ethical reasons, environmental reasons, health reasons. As this group grew, it created a new market demand. Small companies responded first. Feeling empowered to tackle systemic change requires more than just understanding the problem. It requires a clear sense of what to do. Moving beyond individual guilt means channeling your energy into actions designed to pressure the levers of power. Your toolkit is larger than you think, and it becomes immensely more powerful when used in coordination with others. The first and most fundamental tool is your power as a citizen. Voting is the bare minimum, but active political engagement is where real change begins. Research candidates' positions on climate. Ask them pointed questions at town halls. Volunteer for candidates with credible, ambitious climate plans. A second powerful tool is your collective voice. Power listens to pressure. Public pressure is most effective when loud, persistent, and organized. Join organizations fighting for climate justice. Donate to organizations fighting for climate justice. These groups lobby lawmakers, file lawsuits against polluters, organize large-scale campaigns, participate in protests, sign petitions, call or write your elected officials, from your city council member to your national representatives. This creates a political cost for inaction. The path away from climate despair is not paved with individual perfectionism. It is built through collective action. For too long, the narrative of personal guilt has served the interests of the powerful, keeping us isolated, anxious, focused on the wrong targets. Today, on October 24, 2025, we must consciously discard this burden. The weight of the world is not on your shoulders alone. It is a shared responsibility. Our greatest power lies in shouldering it together. Our task is not to meticulously curate a blameless life within a destructive system, but to join hands with our fellow citizens to dismantle that system and build a better one in its place. This means shifting our focus from what we buy to how we organize. It means trading our consumer anxiety for the focused power of civic engagement. The most meaningful climate actions you can take are to use your voice, use your vote, use your time, to demand change from the institutions that hold the most power. Governments, corporations, hold them accountable. Demand that they end fossil fuel subsidies. Invest massively in renewable energy. Invest massively in public infrastructure. Enact policies that ensure a just transition for workers and communities currently dependent on the old, dirty economy. This is the real work. There is immense hope to be found in this shift. While the scale of the climate crisis is daunting, the power of a united and organized public is a force of nature in its own right. When we act together, we are no longer just individual consumers making small, isolated choices. We become a movement. We become a political force that can rewrite the rules, redirect financial flows, reshape our physical world. The feeling of powerlessness evaporates when you are standing shoulder to shoulder with others who share your vision for a safe and livable future. This is where hope lives, not in a reusable shopping bag, but in a crowded room of organizers planning their next move. Let go of the guilt. It is a distraction. Instead, embrace your power as a member of a community, a citizen of a nation. Find your people. Join the fight. Use every tool in your toolkit, your voice, your vote, your money, your time, to pressure the systems that are driving this crisis. The challenge is great, but the strength of a collective is greater. Our goal is not just to avert catastrophe, but to build a more just, equitable, resilient world in the process. The time for solitary guilt is over. The time for collective, transformative action is now. We become a movement that changes policy and institutions. Shift the focus from blame to change. Empower the collective. Build systems that make the right choice the easy choice. Together, we can rewrite the rules for a livable future.